Today's last story is just plain fun. Author Kevin Dutton wrote a book called The Wisdom of Psychopaths, What Saints, Spies, and Serial Killers Can Teach Us About Success. And he also identified the most appealing jobs to people with a psychopathic personality. Now, to clarify, there is a difference between the kind of psychopath who gets a job from the kind that ends up in prison. A 2010 study looked at two groups of people with psychopathic tendencies. One group had been convicted and sent to prison, and the other was made up of people who had found a lot of success in the business world. Both groups showed a lot of the same tendencies, like having a shallow affect, callousness, and lack of remorse, a general lack of empathy, and the ability to be really charming when necessary. In fact, the only notable trait that didn't show up in the successful business leaders was low conscientiousness. These successful psychopaths actually showed signs of pretty high conscientiousness, which, by the way, doesn't necessarily mean you care more about what other people think. It just means you're more aware of what other people think. And experts estimate that about 1% of people are psychopaths, so chances are pretty solid you'll run into one sooner or later if you haven't already. If you do run into one, remember, don't react emotionally to their jibes, don't be intimidated by their aggression, don't buy into their misrepresentations of the world, just keep calm and confident, and you won't become a target for manipulation. Anyway, back to the list of top jobs ranked by popularity. Number 5 is surgeon. A 2015 study found that consultants at hospitals ranked more psychopathic than the general population. Number 4, salesperson. Makes sense. Sales is a competitive field, and it's one where self-promotion and carefully curated representations of the truth, let's just say, can take you a long way. Number 3, media personality. Mostly because psychopathy and narcissism go hand in hand. No comment on that one. Number 2, lawyer. Confidence and control are key when you're trying to convince a jury, and so is knowing how to manipulate people. And the number 1 job for psychopaths, you guessed it, CEO. Psychopaths have a strong tendency to become corporate leaders. But still, remember how Harvard psychology professor Joshua Buchholz put it. Quote, "They're not aliens, they're people who make bad decisions," unquote.